Hi, this is Phil
and Sandy
from parkerlings.com.
We hope you are having a good day today and getting ready for the Christmas holiday.
We just wanted to come along today and give you a progress update about our house move. Now, Sandy's been a lady of leisure for a week. Her last day with Openreach was the 30th of November. The first few days were busy. We had to get the house ready for the professional photography. We're grateful that our friend Tracer, who comes weekly to clean our house, was able to work with us and help us on Thursday. So it was looking great for the photos on Friday. We'll come on with a further update as soon as the house advert is posted, and then you'll be able to look at the pictures. Earlier this week, we agreed with the estate agent the advert will go live from the 26th of December, so we're not wasting time on the market over the Christmas holiday.
It's exciting to be on such a nice, clear path in terms of taking the steps to get the house sold. Later today, the surveyor will come to do our energy performance certification. That's the grade for energy efficiency, like what you get with your home appliances. Here in the UK, every house has to have an EPC when it's sold. God's timing is perfect with the house sale because we still have a lot of stuff to clear out, and putting it on the market right after Christmas means that we can put up and enjoy our Christmas decorations in this house one more year without having to worry about scheduling house viewings. We actually weren't going to bother with decorations when we thought it was going to go on the market pre-Christmas. So prepping the house for Christmas will keep us busy in the coming week.
And while we're up in the loft getting all the Christmas decorations down, we'll also work on clearing out the rest of the loft in preparation for moving. We know that we have at least one item up there that will have a good resale value. My old chopper bicycle from back in the 80s. It'll be a perfect restoration project for someone, and we know there's a lot of people out there who like nostalgia of old bikes. And speaking of resale value, right now in November and December is the perfect time of year for selling on eBay because people are looking for Christmas presents. We're trying hard to maximise that opportunity, and we want to encourage you to think about doing it too.
Last week, as we were clearing out our spare room, we came across an old children's book that Phil had bought me for Christmas over a decade ago. When we purchased it, it was already valuable. For me, the value was more because it had been my favorite book as a child, rather than because of its monetary value. But because we're trying to clear everything out of the house that we can, Phil got it put back up on eBay to resell it yesterday, and I'm so glad he did. I couldn't believe how much the book had appreciated in value since he purchased it for me. The book was called The Big Tidy Up by Nora Smarridge. It's an old, out-of-print book. It was old and out of print even when he bought it for me over a decade ago. And I found out that he paid about $85 for it. It was such a thoughtful gift because I mentioned in passing that I remembered it fondly and would love to read it again. But then the conversation moved on and I'd forgotten all about it. So when I received it as a Christmas present months later, I was thrilled. At the time, we were back in the States for Christmas, and I remember that my mom was also really enjoying my receiving of that Christmas present because she remembered it really fondly from my childhood too. When we came across the book in the spare room then last week, it was fun to page through it again, but I'm ready to pass it on to someone else. So last night when Phil was putting it up on eBay, we were really surprised how many fewer copies of the book are around now and by how much they're selling for. $200 and $300, I think you would see prices.
$200, yeah.
Crazy money. So we hope that we can at least make our money back. That would certainly be a blessing.
In fact, there have been a couple of surprises as we've been reselling our stuff over the past few months. Our 18-year-old lava lamp that we bought for £40 sold for over £60, and some little handheld Nintendo video games that I purchased as a kid second-hand for about £5 each back in the 80s. They sold for around £100 combined. These items each held memories for us, and we enjoyed recalling those memories as we packed the items off to their new homes.
Of course, most of the items aren't going for more than we paid for them. My Radley designer handbags and a couple of plush Harrods Christmas teddy bears have been a real bargain for their new owners. But given that the alternative is a thrift shop or the local tip, even a small resale value is better than nothing. And it's really exciting to think about what other items in our house might also have resale value. I can't wait to see about that chopper bike that's up in the loft. So with this video, we thought we'd share with you what's our process for sorting through and clearing our stuff. First of all, the first thing we do is decide, are we happy to part with the item? This is the most important first step. If you have a close attachment to the item still, if it's still giving you joy, as Marie Kondo would say, don't feel you have to part with it. Don't feel you have to get rid of it. I have a sweatshirt from college that my parents purchased for me, full price, on the day that I went to register for classes during my senior year of high school. It has stains on the front. It's faded over the years. I mean, it was purchased in 1994 after all, so I haven't actually worn it for years, but I just can't part with it. I know it's silly, and it's silly that I get emotional thinking of parting with it, so I just won't part with it. Not yet. And that's okay, especially since it's not something that has a great resale value anyway. And that leads us on to step 2 of our process.
However, we might mention that I have at least 20 Chelsea football shirts from when I was between 15 and 43, sitting in there, not been worn for years. But
I also can't part with it. You also can't part with, right?
No, I can't. Well, what's prompting the clear out? Your motivation for clearing out your stuff will effectively determine how you handle the rest of the steps in the process. If you need to clear it out because you're being evicted, it's a bit more immediate than if you don't want the items anymore. And the prospect of having to move the item to another country is quite a bit different than moving to a larger or smaller house in a nearby town, where the relative cost of a shipping container versus one or more trips of a moving van is likely to dictate an item's relative value to you. Initially, we were contemplating that we'd simply hire a shipping container and move us to get our home contents back to the States. But when we started pricing them out versus the value of the contents themselves, we pretty quickly decided there are very few items we actually need to keep. So now everything's up for grabs for the right price. What we don't get rid of, we'll store in my parents' loft and take back in our luggage over time. Step 3 of our process, how long have you got to sell it? Not everything that may have value will immediately sell. It can take a while for the right buyer to come across your advert. If you want to see a good resale value on the items you're happy to part with, it's important that you start the process of saying goodbye to your items in plenty of time before you get desperate to be rid of it. We started our eBay clearing of our house back in August and September, and shortly after we committed to our decision to move back to the States. At that time, we'd put in our mental timeline that we'd try to get the house put onto the market by the end of November. And if you don't have such a deadline for clearing out your items, then you can put them onto eBay or your marketplace of choice and wait a bit until the right buyer comes along. But if you're in a hurry, it can be a problem to put too high a value on your stuff, so you might have to consider just taking what you can, just to get it cleared.
And ultimately, you may decide that having it cleared out is of more value than trying to sell it. For us, the day before our professional photography session last week, we had 3 big bin bags full of clothes and bric-a-brac that were dropped off to the local charity shop for them to resell and get the value of, because we needed it gone much more quickly than the time and effort and value of trying to sell it.
Yeah. Step 4. What might it be worth? Well, a quick internet search will usually give you a good idea of what the item might be worth. eBay is a great place to start, Facebook Marketplace or Vinted. If the item is unlikely to sell, but you're keen to find it a new home, it may be best to use FreeCycle. Sometimes just finding it a new home that's not the landfill is best. That's what we're finding we have to do with our furniture, which doesn't seem to have much of a resale value. We're trying on Facebook Marketplace and eBay, but moving to FreeCycle for the items that are too slow to sell.
Step 5 in the process is all about thinking through how the item will get to its new owner. Shipping can be a dark art. Will it go by courier or regular mail? Or is it a bulky item that will have to be picked up in person? Stuff that can't reasonably be shipped will have to be pretty valuable for the buyer to entertain collecting it directly or arranging the shipping themselves. Last year, for example, when my dad was downsizing, we sold a commercial grade meat saw on eBay that was a beast. It weighed over 800 pounds, and we said in the description that it was for collection only. The guy who eventually purchased it lived in Washington State, 3,000 miles away, and his way of collecting it was arranging for a shipping company to come and pick it up.
That was a palaver. The guy paid us an extra $100 to prep the saw for the courier. It took 6 of us in one form or another to manoeuvre it out of the garage onto a pallet and get it all wrapped up so they'd take it. It was worth it to him and to us though. He got it for a really good price compared to others on the market, and we got it out of the garage where it had been sat for 20 years gathering dust. Here at home, I've gotten pretty good at weighing and measuring the items we're reselling to determine the most cost-effective shipping method, and we use all 3: post office, courier and collection.
Having figured all of that out with the process, the final step is really fourfold, if you will, and that is to set up your sales engine. The actual steps of selling your stuff is a process that you can make pretty efficient depending on how many items you're planning to clear. First of all, you need a marketing and staging area. You need an area where you can photograph and then store the stuff that you've decided to sell. Having gone through your home and decided you are ready to sell the lava lamp that's sat on the bedside table in the spare room for the last 2 years, get it unplugged, clean it up, and move it to the area in your home where you'll photograph the item. Ideally, this will be a spot where you can also store this item while you're waiting for it to sell. If you just leave it where it is, you may lose the motivation to get it cleared out, so explicitly moving it to the new place is important. At the moment in our house, the items we're putting on eBay are coming down here to the lounge. Phil's photographing them on the dining table and putting them into the TV case or the corner unit, which we're also trying to sell. The beauty of this process is that we know exactly where the items are that have been put on auction. We've got 56 items, I think, at the moment on eBay to sell.
I think I just topped 60.
Oh, just top 60. Yeah. Okay, so it's really important that you avoid taking something to the charity shop that you actively are trying to sell on eBay, lest you have to apologize to a person who bids on an item.
Yeah. Next, the sales suite. Having photographed your items, you need to place them where you can sit down with your smartphone or laptop or computer, although I did brake cars the other day, so not computer, to create your auction and sale listings. For us right now, this is the same dining table in our lounge where I photograph most of the items. I've got my laptop there, the charging cable for my smartphone, and really it's my office.
I just can't bear to give him my upstairs space for this. Plus, he prefers to be downstairs where he can listen to his music and work with one eye on the TV in the evenings.
Next to the shipping area. I'm really keen to make sure the items are packed safely for shipping. I have a hoard of packing peanuts, bubble wrap, boxes, shipping tape, scissors, paper, and everything for packaging up the items once they've sold. A lot. I don't pack an item before it's sold because some boxes are very similar and we don't want to risk sending the wrong item to the wrong person or having to spend time and resources opening the package back up again to make sure it's right before shipping it off. I have the auctions timed so they mainly finish at the same time on the same day of each week. Now I normally find that the best time of the day is 9 o'clock at night. Now most people then have got home from work, they've had their dinner and they're free to play around on their smartphone or their laptop. So everyone's got full access and they're not worrying about it halfway through the day when no one gets to look at their phone. Then everything that is sold that week is pulled out of the staging area and the shipping supplies come in from out of the shed to be used for wrapping the items up. I print off the shipping labels once I've verified the box measurements and then get them taped into the boxes as a second step. Then we come to the mail room. The glorified name for the counter in the kitchen near the door, where we pick up the items that have been taken to the post office and we can easily access when the courier comes to pick up the other items. We have to be a bit careful though to make sure we don't mix up the parcels with these two shipping methods. I've come very close. And that's it. That's our process for finding the resale value of our things.
What about you? Looking around your house, are there items that you're ready to part with? What's your method for having a good clear out? Are there any items that you've sold in the past that have really surprised you in terms of their value? We'd love to hear your stories. Please share them with us in the comments below. If you'd like a written version of what we've talked about today, the process that we use for our clear out, we've created a blog post over on our website at parkerlings.com/clear out, and you can go and have a read of our method so that you can have a good clear out too.
And if you're interested in the Big Tidy Up book, you can check it and all our eBay listings at ebay.co.uk/USR/Garfield. We've put that link in the description box below too.
And that's us for today. We hope that our update has found you well and that you are enjoying this December week as you prep for the Christmas holidays and are doing your last minute Christmas shopping and perhaps having a little bit of a clear out as you sort out your Christmas decorations for the holiday. Have a great day.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye.